everyone. Welcome back. For those of you who don't know, I'm Anwyn. I'm your new SOC Serve officer for this year. We're just going to go through a couple of things today, sort of summer training, things to get you prepped, but we'll also be having a training in September as well, for everyone. So this is our team. So as I've said, I'm Anwyn. I'm your SOC Serve officer for this year. We've got two student communities coordinators, that's Maddie and Grace. And then we've also got our student voice and communities manager, Louisa. This is just a little overview of some of the things we're going to cover today. Obviously, if any questions come up at the end, feel free to pop them in the chat or unmute yourselves and just ask us those things at the end. So for those of you who don't know, this is just the role of the SOC Serve officers. So I support all of the SU societies and oversee the running of the union services. I chair the society exec committee to ensure that everyone, all of you guys, are fairly represented. I advocate for student clubs and services to ensure all your needs are met to the university. I collaborate with a variety of people to enhance campus life through events, campaigns and projects. And I also help to shape policies that strengthen and elevate societies and services. If you don't already follow these accounts, there's two Instagram accounts at the bottom, which are really good to follow. And if there's things that you'd like reposting or shared, it's good to tag these accounts in these posts, because hopefully then I can see them and the SU Insta can also see them, and we can try and repost as many things as possible and try and get as many people seeing your posts as possible. So here's just a couple of updates, which is good for you guys to know from me. We're currently updating the equipment hiring system, and it'll be ready in September for you guys to use and book. We are going to provide some more information on the equipment to hire, so we'll be popping up some videos and further support to help these easier for you guys to use. And if there's some things you thought you might like to use and aren't really sure how to use them, there's going to be some more information on that. We're also working on some new society branding. So it's been updated, and this is aimed to make society-related communications and resources like easier to recognise, and that should be hopefully start to come into fruition in September. A couple more things. The committee handbook, we're currently updating that to ensure that it has all of the information that you need. This will just be a good guide for you guys to refer back to throughout the year. Has lots of different resources and links to things that are on the help desk, and it's good for little questions. Obviously, if you do have any other questions, feel free to pop it through on the help desk or come and pop in and have a chat with us, and we can always try and help figure things out. And also, we're currently working on improving the society storage space to ensure that everybody has space to put their things and use, and hopefully expanding this for you guys. So currently there are some spaces left on the Society Exec Committee. There are some spaces still open, and the application forms available on my Instagram in my bio if you are interested in those. Or if you want a little bit more information, feel free to pop me a message.
Hi guys, I'm Grace and I am one of the student communities coordinators this year. I'm just going to tell you a bit about the Students' Union to start off with. So I'm sure a lot of you may be aware, but for those who aren't, the Students' Union is student-led, and we work with students for the benefit of students. It is democratically run, meaning all student positions must be voted in, and any changes must be made and approved by the students. Although we work closely alongside the university, we are independent from the university, which allows us to fight for what students want and need. Our ultimate mission is to give students the best experience and opportunities to succeed. Here on the PowerPoint, there is a list of the departments and services we provide that you can have a little read over. Okay, so Freshers' Fair. I'm sure a lot of you will already know we've sent out an email just a few weeks earlier to this meeting for you to register your interest in a Freshers stall. Freshers is a great way to get more members for your societies, so I'd highly recommend putting your interest in as soon as possible for that so we can get a gauge of how many stalls we'll need for each society. Some things that you can remember for freshers. You want to make your you want to make your stall stand out, using anything you think is necessary. You can only have two people per stand at all times, so you'll have some sort of lanyard or accreditation, to just keep it fair between everyone. Um, if you think it would be appropriate, we would recommend having a rota as it's a long day, so shed the time out between all of your committee. Most importantly, enjoy it and all the freebies. Obviously, in the past, we've had Domino's, so make sure to grab some food as well. You will be able to set up on Tuesday the 22nd. Times will be confirmed shortly, closer to the time, and it'll be on Wednesday and Thursday of Freshers Week. Okay, memberships. So there's two different types of memberships. There is a standard Swansea students membership, which is all for all Swansea University students. These members can vote and stand in committee elections. And then you've got associate memberships, which are for non-Swansea students. You can have staff or alumni of the university that have a close connection to the uni or the SU. These cannot vote or stand in elections for committee. They also can't make up more than 10% of your membership. Okay, SGF. So SGF is student group finance. It's the system used to access bank balances and submit financial requests. You can access it via the control panel under finance requests as shown in the picture on the screen. Okay, some key points about SGF. There are a few different ways to request money, I guess, or pay money in. You've got money request, which is the most common one that you guys will probably be using. You've got pay supplier in this category. So this is if you've received an invoice that you need to pay into. A reimbursement, so this would be a student who has paid on behalf of the club. Or you've got an advance, which is you need to pay someone upfront for a service, personally or in cash. Then you've got sales invoice, which is if you're selling a product or a service and you're awaiting payment. Make sure for this you have the right address, which is on the screen, Swansea University Students' Union, and your student group number name. You can always come back to this video if you do need that in the future. It's also on help desk. And purchase order, which is a promise to pay something in the future. The request gets approved by a committee member, then it will come to sports and societies officers and us, and then finally it will get approved by finance. Okay, SGF do's and don'ts. So some do's, always attach receipts and invoices to requests. Do make requests in a timely manner. Regularly check SGF, get quotes from various people, spend money wisely, create a budget, and use fuel reimbursement forms, which are also on help desk, I believe. Perfect. Some don't hold an external bank account, don't spend money you don't have, don't use don't use it on alcohol unless it's already authorized by the SU. Get in touch with us first. And don't spend money on individuals. Make sure it benefits all the members of your society. I will pass you over to Maddie now so she can explain committee handover.
Oh, hello. So cool. So yeah, so I'm gonna have to talk a little bit about your committee handover. So you should have all had this information by now from your old committee. However, if you don't, you can have a little look at the committee handbook, which when it comes out eventually in the next month or so. So these are just the little things that you can have a little look at and have a little look at now over summer.
maybe you could even create like a document or something with all these things in, so then when you'll hand over to your next committee, it can be a lot easier. So here we've got compulsory, so the constitution, key responsibilities of your role, how to get in contact with the SU, the usernames and passwords for your emails, social media like Instagram, and then website accounts if you have any as well. And then your general risk assessment and group information as well. So that is your compulsory stuff that you should have. If you don't, you can maybe talk to your old committee, or like I said, look in the committee handbook, or get in contact with us if you have any other questions. And then other highly recommended things is a calendar of key events that you want to do throughout the year, maybe achievements that you feel like in a committee that you would like to, like, I don't know, achieve within the year. And then maybe past events or things you've done that you may like to repeat, or maybe things that the other committee haven't done but would like to have done. You could have done that as well, like tips for success. Um, so moving on to the matrix. I've just seen there's people in the waiting room. I don't know how to let them in. Anyway, so yeah, moving on to the matrix. So this is just examples of questions from the society's matrix. You all should know what this is. So this is like a little this when was it? It's May. March?
What deadline?
Deadline, yeah.
May.
May. So last year they the last committee would have done like loads of different surveys and stuff to fill out the matrix. So what it is, so the matrix is a set of criteria that all societies will that you get marked upon. It's a tool guide to society committees to run a successful and sustainable group. So this is just some examples from the matrix last year. So, for example, have a positive bank balance using the finance system. Maybe you held a fundraiser for a charity, or maybe you had some sponsors such as, I don't know, a something on Wine Street, or maybe sponsors to help within your society. So yeah, so this is just a way to acknowledge and celebrate your achievements as well at the end of the year, and it's something for you to work towards. So as you can tell, they're different colours. So we've got the pink colour, the blue green maybe, and then the yellow one. So these are all weighted differently as well. So the weighted system depends on order of importance. So we talked to you guys about 2 years ago. We set this up 3 years ago. And we talked to all the society exec, the officer at the time, student voice team, and also societies as well, of what we thought, what you thought that determined is important to an engaging and successful society. So the top one, the pink one, they're weighted times 3. That makes sense. So you multiply it times 3, whatever the score is, and then the blue is times 2, and then the bottom one is times 1. So yeah, so what happens is you get a link, you fill out all the stuff, and then you'll see how you scored on everything, and we put all the societies in where they all score on the matrix. So the highest scoring societies will be rewarded and provided priority and access to some resources as well. So last year, the top 5 scoring societies were also given a bonus of £100 straight into their society account. So it's something to work towards and also to thrive to make your society just more sustainable and better as well. And the lowest scoring societies will be given targeted areas of support and maybe developmental meetings and actionable goals as well to help you move your society up and just thrive in the future. So this is so these are the stats from last year. So huge congratulations as well to the top 5, which can be seen in the green section. So you can use this. This is obviously where they scored last year. So you can use this as a new committee to see where maybe your society can work on and what maybe things to achieve. If you would like to know where you scored or like what things you didn't do as well in, you can always email us and we can help get back to you. So yeah, have a little look at that. But if you need information, let us know. I've got any questions. Okay, so moving on to navigating. No, okay. Navigating admin panel. So this you can find this on your SU website under organisation, and then it'll have your if you log into the SU website, it'll have your society under there.
So our control panel is made up of all the useful tools that you need throughout the year, that can support the running of your student group. So here are some of you don't need all of them, but here are some of the important ones that you might use. Yeah. So we've got edit details, which is on the top one. This changes your information of your group page. So add photos, listing descriptions, and social media links as well. Then we've got members, which is on the line below, which is a list of all your members within your group. So if you had an event and you needed to take people off, or you needed just to know who's members or whatever, that's where you can find a list of all your members. Messages, so send messages to individual members, or even create lists without using your email. So you can message certain groups within your society, or if you want to message everyone in your society, or if you just want to message individuals as well. It just helps you not use your own email, and it uses it through the SU website. We've got events, which is creating events such as socials, training sessions, or any trips you're doing, so any events that you would like to go on your SU website. You do that through that bit. Then tickets. So tickets, you're just creating a ticket for an event, so that members can make a payment that can go straight to your society account as well. And then sales reports. So this is where you can see then recent or historical information on any products or tickets that you have sold or put up recently, or purchases or any money that has been generated by your account. Oh, and then finances. So finances, this processes payments such as paying suppliers and reimbursements to members. So that's everything about navigating the admin pile. If you have any other questions, you can email the help desk and create a ticket. But now I'm passing over to Louisa.
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to be talking to you about the Constitution today. Hopefully, lots of you will know what this is, but I am also aware that there's probably a fair amount of you that don't, so I'm just going to explain this a little bit for everyone. So the Constitution is a formal document that outlines the purpose, structure, and rules of your student group, and acts as a foundational agreement between members, and it helps guide the group's operations. So it includes things like your group name and the purpose of the society. It also tells you details about what sort of memberships you can have. It also says committee roles and responsibilities. It tells you how to do meeting procedures correctly. It also tells you the election process, tells you how to do your financing and budgeting in a kind of correct constitutional legitimate way, and also includes any affiliations that you might have. So lots of you may not have any affiliations, but some of you do. So an example of that would be Guides and Scouts. They are affiliated to the wider SIGO organisation, so it's a part where you can put that down as well. So the Constitution is important because it gives clarity and structure, as it defines how your group operates, and it helps avoid any confusion or conflict. So ultimately, we want to help you guys navigate any conflict yourselves, in making sure that you can do it in sticking to our SU principles and disciplinary procedures. It also offers continuity, as it ensures that future committees understand how the group functions and can maintain consistency. It also offers legitimacy, as it is required by the Students' Union or university to formally recognise your group. So if you don't have this signed and agreed to, then we can't really support you, because you haven't agreed to our kind of essential rules that you need to operate as a student group. There are also bits in there which talk about conflict resolution. So it provides a framework for how to resolve disputes fairly and also transparently. So as a student group, you won't be able to just kick a member or committee member out of your society without going through the correct disciplinary procedures. So with that, it basically lays everything out there. So in terms of how to actually complete your constitution, there's a survey on our help desk. Previously, it was just a massive long form document, but again, it wasn't the most engaging for all students, and lots of students just didn't end up doing it. So we've made it more user friendly this time. So again, on an article on our help desk, it sets out in a survey form, it basically just tells you what you can, you can't do. You basically just need to tick and agree to things as you go along. So it's really, really easy information to fill out. So yeah, it outlines the Constitution and allows you to add any relevant bits that are specific to just your group. So yeah, you can add additional things. The main thing is that anything you add can't contradict what our like set in stones principles are, but there is options for you to amend things. And then once you've completed the form, we can then generate a PDF for you, and then you can upload this onto your website so everyone can see it. Um, and we will be checking this once we're further into the term, just to make sure everyone has done it correctly and we've got everyone kind of on our books correctly. So that was just a very brief kind of whistle-stop tour of constitutions. If you have any like specific queries about this, then you can submit a ticket to us, and then one of the team can help you with answering it. But I'll move on from constitutions for now. So kind of backtracking a little bit with room bookings and risk assessments. So again, on an article on the help desk, if you just type in like room bookings, and there's a document, and then there's a form where you can put in all the details of the activity that you want to do, and that goes to our central booking dashboard. And again, one of the team can get back to you. It is worth saying that we don't have confirmation on what our rooms are yet. We're still waiting on the university for that. But as soon as we've got that sorted, then an email will be going out to all societies, and then you can get in your room bookings like as soon as possible. But again, we're just waiting on the university for that. With every room booking, you also need to submit a risk assessment, and I believe I go into that a little bit later. But yeah, there's just an attachment section at the bottom, and it kind of walks you through how to do a good risk assessment, and it should tell you what to do. You can also add this to your resources on your website as well. So moving on to the risk assessment bits now. So again, this is an article on Help Desk. If you didn't kind of get the gist by now, Help Desk is our kind of one-stop shop where you can go to for all your answers. It's where you can submit a ticket to us, which is basically just sending us an email. But there's also a knowledge base as well, that has pre-made articles of how to do things. So you can access it by going to hello.swansea-union.co.uk. Yeah, back onto risk assessments. The generic risk assessment covers the main points of fire points. So this is things such as fire, slips, trips, and falls. And we've also amended it to include the most common risks, such as manual handling, medical emergencies, accessibility, overcrowding, unexpected behaviour, and external visitors. And you can edit this and add any additional risks that are applicable to your group's activity. So yeah, as I said before, once you've done this, you can then upload this to your resources, which is in your admin panel. This is so that all committee members have access to it. And also by having your risk assessment checked and downloaded on your resource, it means that we don't have to go back to you constantly if you don't have a risk assessment attached, because we can just view it on our own terms. And then on your SU page, once you've added it will appear under the More section on your main SU page. So that's kind of a very brief whistle-stop tour of the main things. Before I finish up and pass back to Anwen, if you could really quickly do this survey, it will take literally less than 3 minutes. It's just so we know that we're training on the right things and you think that this training basically has been valuable. So if you could do that, I definitely appreciate that. But I will pass back to Anwen to finish up the training.
Hello, I'll just give you a minute to scan there. Yeah, if I just give you a minute just to scan there and fill it out, it would be really helpful, as Louisa just said. Yeah. Okay. If you haven't managed to scan it and you do, like we said, it'll be re-uploaded, so you can scan it afterwards, but your feedback would be really helpful for us so we can sort of develop and help so we know that we're giving you guys sort of the training and the things you need to know about. So committee training is compulsory for all committee members and it's going to be on the 15th of September. If you can't make it, make sure you are sending a committee member and then they can relay all the information to you that you need. A provisional agenda of the day will be released shortly, as well as where the training will be taking place. So here we've just put some things up that you can be doing over the summer. So you can look at creating a budget for the year or possible expenses. You can look at merch. You can plan your year, so some events, socials, a weekly timetable, maybe some other societies you'd like to collaborate with, or some events and ideas that you'd like to have for the year. And as well as what was mentioned before, Freshers Fair, so plan your stall, your promotion, if you are going to host any taster sessions, sort of planning for that. So that's, oh, there we are. They're the two. So roles and responsibilities. So making sure that everyone in your committee sort of knows their roles and responsibilities. And like I said, some welcome events, some taster sessions are always really good. So that's everything from us. If you do have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat and we can answer them for you now if possible. Where do I go? Oh, right in there. Yeah, the training will be in person on September in September, but we're not quite sure where it's going to be currently, but it'll be on campus somewhere. Just the room hasn't been quite decided. Membership purchasing, isn't that open already? Yeah. Yeah, membership purchasing should already be open for everyone. So if you guys are having trouble on your end with that, just let us know. So for securing